Alright, so I'm gonna, like Jason said, switch to a little more practical side. I'm with Delta F.A.R.M, Association of Farmers in the city of Delta. We've got about 300 members, representing 1 million acres. Our mission is to help our membership be good environmental stewards and profitable at the same time. Alright. Just again, kind of recap, this is what we're dealing with. Silt loams, has some bad crusting issues. But also the compacted layer, that's down just a little bit deeper. If you take a petrometer or spade, dig around much of the delta, you're going to see this layer starting anywhere from 4 to 6 inches, going down to 10 inches. So the challenge that we have is physically moving water through this profile. You take another look. This is a silt loam. This is from the banks of Deer Creek. This is no telling how long this ground's been in cultivation. What you see on the left is a soil moisture sensor. You see some little rings down there. The soil moisture sensor company was doing a calibration test on the sensor, and basically they put up a berm around this plot and kept it flooded for 4 days. And this is about the end of July. You can see where my knife blade is stuck in on the right. That's the compacted layer. You can see the wetting on the left-hand side. The wetting goes down to about 9 inches. So 4 days of a constant flood, and that's how far the water made it. It was about 9 inches. A year ago, we had a pretty big flood in the Delta, and I got 2 phone calls from 2 different farmers that said, "Man, we're out here with a tractor building a levee, and we get down a foot deep, and I'm digging with power." Okay, so we got some pretty big issues when it comes to crusting and packing. So how can we use cover crops alleviated? Obviously, let's cover the soil up. We'll slow down that rainfall as it's hitting that soil surface. Okay. Hopefully reduce that crusting, compaction, surface compaction. Let's slow it down. If we can get some residue out there, try to increase infiltration, build organic matter. Talk about what we hope to see going on below ground. The left-hand side, we've got some treated K-leaf. You can see those fibrous roots kind of easing them down through the compacted layer there. How to get the stuff out. We did a lot of different calibration tests with several different pilots just trying to figure out the logistics of it. If you look at the photo in the top right hand, that's a no-till field. We flew seed onto in the standing soybeans prior to harvest. Not a success at all there whatsoever. Look at the bottom right hand picture. You can see a fresh bed, cover crop seed flown on. It was rolled in. If you look close, you can see some seed down in the middles. You don't see much on top of it. The seed was basically rolled off the top. You got the skip on top. We tried broadcast drilling, and we'll talk about a few specifics. So here's the field. It's a Pearson silt loam. One of the main reasons the farmer wants to cover crop in this field is you can take a petrometer out there in May after ripping it in the fall and put it back on the bed, and you get 6 inches deep and you're hitting 400 or 500 pounds of pressure with a petrometer. It's an extreme compaction. You go to irrigate, the water shoots down to the end, just not getting water in the profile. So in this example, 40 pounds of treated K-leaf, radish, crimson clover, and hairy vetch per acre. This is one of the fields that was ripped and bedded, seed flown on and rolled lightly. As you can see, you got a pretty good stand right here. This picture, that photo was taken January 27th. That was the plant date of October 1st. So that's 116 days after planting. Looks pretty good. This is the same field, but this photo is taken on December the 10th. So 69 days after planting, what do you see? You see an awful lot of radish out there. It's one thing we've noticed about radish is it'll really jump out there in the fall and kind of get a head start, and get ahead of everything else. All right, here's another field. This is a Forestdale silt loam. Very same mix, but this was we put this out with the ground rig October 2nd. If you look close, you're going to see something here. You start seeing a little bit darker spots. That's skips. I mean, that's the infield. And really, whenever these beds were rolled down, they were just a little bit too much pressure. Just rolled the top of the bed off and the seed off into the middles. So we've got a nice stand cover crops in the middles, but the top of the bed is lacking in some spots. All right, this is another field. This is a little bit more kind of mixed ground. Similar mix, rye, oats, tillage, radish, crimson clover. This was again broadcast out with the ground rig, but it's a little bit later in the year, October 28th. So this was broadcast out, it was lightly rolled, and we got a very good rain about 2 days later, but it turned off cold. And so if you look on, you see the green, that's on top of the bed. You look in the middles, you see just a lot of henbit, all right? So he drowned out, and it just, conditions weren't right. All right, I do hear a lot. What about the henbit and all of our winter annuals that come up naturally? From a ground cover perspective, from erosion perspective, it's definitely a good thing. You've got a living root in the soil, that's good. But we're talking about from for increasing infiltration, that's kind of a comparison. I mean, just look at the difference in the root system. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to use roots to physically penetrate the compacted layer. We're obviously getting a lot more benefit out of something that we're planning for that purpose. This is another example. This is a Dove's fine scented loam. This was a late planted field, November 11th, 35 pounds an acre, serial rod drilled in. All right, photo taken January 29th, 78 days after planting. So remember this, remember the 78 days after planting, because we're going to look at another field in just a minute. It was planted earlier in the year to look at the growth. All right, this is a Dundee silt loam. This field, this past year, we said, all right, we've learned a few things. And one of the things that we've learned is if we need to get an early start with our cover crops. You hear a lot in the Midwest about flying your seed on into a standing corn crop. All right, so we're going to try it this year. So first week of August, if y'all remember August, it was pretty wet. We had a lot of moisture. So we flew on a 50-pound mix of rye, radish, winter pea, and clover in corn. We had good rainfall on top of it. That mix came out of the ground. It got 4 or 5 inches tall. And then if you remember what happened about the 1st of September, it turned dry and it turned very hot. And if you look at the photograph on the right hand, right bottom, the only thing that survived was the tillage radish. So September 23rd, came back in and drilled in a mix of true K-Lee radish and pea. This particular field was going to be grazed, which is why it was replanted, leading forwards there. But if you look at this photo, the main photo taken on December 27th, look how thick of a stand of radish you had. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable at the stand of radishes. But again, that was 2 plantings, so that's pretty much a full rate, and we've had radish growing since August. So from a compaction standpoint, infiltration standpoint, that's probably a good thing. From a grazing standpoint, which was the goal, it wasn't worth the crap because you need grass to graze, and the radish is obviously out. All right, this is an example of what it can do if you really, really push it. This is on a Dundee silt loam. This was this past year. We broadcast this seed on October 18th. Scratched it in with the field cultivator, cut the center pivot on. We watered it up with 1.5 inches of water. 2 weeks later, hit it again with another 1.5 inches. All right, December 30th, we threw out about 22 units in. And if y'all remember the warm spell we had there for about a week, it absolutely blew up. And so if you remember the other photograph I showed, the serial rod drilled in on November 11th, 78 days after planting, didn't have much of a stand. Well, we've got, all right, so let me explain something else. The picture on the left-hand side, we've got 18 inches of growth in some places, all right? What it was, there was corn planted on the outside of that center pivot. On the corn ground, we're seeing anywhere from 15 to 18 inches of growth, whereas on soybean, when soybeans are planted, we're down to about 8 to 10 inches of growth. All right, so speculation, I'm thinking there's probably some residual nitrogen in there that the cover crop took advantage of, and we got some good growth off of it. So, how is that economically feasible? You turn cattle loose on them. That's a different presentation. All right, so just a couple other comments. Go back to that first field we looked at. Let's talk about radish for a minute. The photograph on the right, the 69 days after planting, it's a pretty solid stand of radishes. That's all you really see. If you go to January 27th on the left, you can see some radishes, some live radishes out there, but you also see these little brown specks, scattered all throughout the dead radishes. That particular year, we had a pretty cold winter in January. We had 3 days to get down to the teens. And pretty much what we've seen on the radish, you get 3 days in the teens, it's going to kill you. And it's going to turn to mush and turn to water pretty quick. This past winter, 2015-16, was pretty mild. And we did not get the winter kill on the radishes that we've seen before. And we had some issues with controls. All right, so first year into this, farm rats, how the heck am I going to plant into that? And you spray it, glyphosate 2,4-D, February 1st, March 15th, that's what you got. One trip to do all, knock the top off. I mean, it's, that's easy to plant into, right? Well, the good news is it's easy to plant into. The bad news is that residue is gone. And so if you're thinking about it from a weed control perspective or slowing down, irrigation water trying to improve infiltration, well, didn't get a lot of benefit out of it. All right, so just some of the practical lessons that we learned. First and foremost, plant time and method. I mean, that's one of the most important things. If at all possible, drill it. You're going to get the best seed soil contact. Get it in as early as we can to take advantage of that good fall growth. Minimize post-harvest field work. I mean, any additional operation that you do, we're basically just delaying things. We're losing moisture. And also, the more bed prep we seem to do, the harder of the time we seem to have is getting a good cover crop stand established. Not getting hung up on the specific varieties of blends. That kind of goes back to the tillage radish thing. You can get hung up in a lot of that hype, and that's not really necessary. Shop it around, find a good value. You need a good seed supplier. We've had some bad seed come through. This is a waste of money. So good seed, good price, support it and let it grow. I mean, getting the growth out of it. Physically think about what has to happen. To go back to those first pictures we looked at, we're talking about physically getting roots in the ground. It takes time for that to happen. All right, so those are some practical lessons. There's also got some philosophical things that we can talk about too. And I think first and foremost, we need to remember the cover crops are a tool. And if you want to get a return on your investment, you need to use them right. It's kind of like using a hammer and halfway swinging it to drive a nail. It's just not going to work out very well. It requires a shift in philosophy. All right, we're talking about managing that as a systems approach. Okay, not just NRCS give me $15 an acre. I'm going to do some cereal rye out, and I'm going to expect magic to happen. All right, that approach is not going to work. You're not going to get a return on the investment from that. You may see some conservation benefits. But if we really want to see economic improvements, all right, it's going to take just a little bit of a shift in mindset on how we think about this thing. Kind of one direction that we're going, every field is different, every farm is different. There's going to be specific factors at play in that field. And so when you're going into it, especially if you're just starting out, pick a field, figure out what your limiting factors may be, and go all in. And figure out a way to monitor and measure the results. All right? And finally, just stick with it. I mean, it takes time. If you talk about soil, what you talk about, the chemical, physical, and biological properties. Okay, that's the three main parameters. We talk a lot about physical and chemical properties. We don't talk much about biological at all. And as a biologist, I mean, any type of wildlife, whatever it may be, it needs habitat. Okay, that takes time to do it. So stick with it.
Dan, on your legumes, are you expecting much nitrogen fixation from those?
Not in the early termination scenario. We can get to a point where we can let it go.
I'll let it scavenge as much as it can.
Scavenge and also just get the nodulation production. That's one thing about the vetch. The vetch really seems to jump out there a lot better than anything else.
Are you having to inoculate it?
Some of it.
Question for research.
We're one of them that automatically.
The date by yield has been done under conventional tillage for years. Are y'all planning on doing any date by yield under a cover crop regime? Because there are other benefits when you look at the, I hate to use a holistic approach, but there are other benefits that might offset the yield. Are y'all planning on looking at that at all?
I can't remember if I mentioned it here or somewhere else, but again, when you go back to the study that I just talked about, I mean, it was pure
Exactly.
irrigation, but pure irrigation philosophy, right? Can we do it? But yeah, I think the study needs to be optimized, what we think is an optimized tillage planting date system for us in the Mid-South. It's probably going to be reduced till optimum window, all that optimized, and do the exact same thing for the soil health benefit for the cover crop and plan into that, and then look and see. I mean, I think that we need, I don't know of a study like that that's running, because most of the time we're asking very specific research questions like I am, and very few that we, like Doc and I talked about, hey, let's bring all of us together, irrigation guys, entomology guys, weed science guys, put an optimized system, and then put it against our existing system to see where it runs out, 8, 9, 10 years down the road.
NRCS is offering these assistance for universities to do that. LSU has two studies, but then NRCS is funded for cover crops. That might be something that y'all submit to them. That'd be a good chance to get funded.
In your study, you did on the reduced tillage and rye cover. You showed where the economic benefit was, or the yield was not where it was on the conventional tillage, no cover, and the reduced tillage, no cover. And you said, I think you said the planting date was on that reduced tillage rye cover was delayed until early May. Was that one of the yield issues?
No, that wasn't it. That was a yield issue for all of those treatments, because we
planted
everything at the same time. That's what I keep coming back to. Had we done it, like we done it the way we were shooting for high yield potential in Mississippi right now, is easily to April 15th.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When we were planting May the 15th.
Yeah.
Right, so that's actually closer to 10, 11, because the numbers we're getting in Mississippi
But
is
it was all
0.4
done at the
bushels.
same time.
It was all planted about
Okay.
May the 15th, May first week, second week of May. And again, what we were waiting, everything was ready to go. We were waiting to kill, roll, 2 weeks, rain, plant on the rye. That's what I was alluding to. Again, if we did the whole system, let's put this system up against our optimized Mississippi soybean system, and then let's look at the optimized soil quality system, which is going to have us plant 3 weeks to a month late. And does it overcome 14 bushels? I don't know.
Yeah.
And can they wait 20 years to get these soil health things to be able to? I don't know. But that's the kind of stuff that we need to be asking.
Yeah.
Why not plant it in the green matter? Why not go ahead and plant it earlier?
You don't get the soil health benefits.
Well, I mean, did you hear what the hell he said? I mean, they flew this stuff in there and came up and it died. I mean, all kinds of crap happened. Soybeans? Why not? Because that's what I'm saying. We set it up to give the cereal rye the optimal benefit to do all the soil health things. If we had played it like, I wanted to get it in April 15th.
Well, he's saying,
It was
why do you plant grain? Basically,
plant green
plant the grain soil.
because it's allelopathic. The recommendation is, which means it's producing chemicals that can kill it. And so the recommendation from everybody
You gotta
across
get
the
rid of
Mid-South is it needs 2 weeks, and you better hope for a freaking rainfall event to deactivate some of those chemicals. If you plant straight into it, you're going to have phytotoxic effects and probably yield loss associated with it.
With soybeans and corn or corn?
The thing is, so you're about to get me all kind of fired up. When a scientist makes a recommendation, it's because he's got a damn control plot right there. If he comes out and says, hey, year in, year out, 4 reps side by side, I'm losing 10 bushels, someone will believe you. When I got a farmer that just goes out, he doesn't have a control, and you very rarely have a control, yeah, man, 60 bushels is good, but what if you lost 10? And that's what we're saying. So I just simply know it's allelopathic, and every agronomist out there will tell me. Right, Doc? Help me here. Don't really look like an ass in the room. But yeah.
Good job.